No two people are alike. We differ in terms of the diseases that we may develop and also in the way that we respond to things like foods, medications, and exercise. Doctors consider these differences when deciding how to treat us. Up to now, these decisions were mostly based on simple measurements like blood sugar, cholesterol, and blood pressure, as well as factors such as our sex, ethnic group, and body weight. Today we know a lot more about genes and their functions. Also, with the massive expansion in computational power and the linking of huge databases, doctors can now use all this information more quickly and effectively in recommending treatment plans for us. But what are genes, and how do they affect our health? Genes contain the basic information needed to code for the proteins, cells, and tissues that make up all living things. They play a role in determining our physical characteristics. More importantly, genes determine how individual organs and cells work in our body. Our genes are coded as sequences of 4 letters: C, G, A, and T. Differences in one or more of these letters are called genetic variants. Genetic variants are part of what make us unique. They affect how vulnerable we are to certain diseases and how we respond to foods, medications, exercise, and toxins. Genetic variants can be passed down from parents to children. Today it is possible to study all of the variants in all of the genes in the body, which is known as the genome. Genetic sequencing allows us to determine the order of the 3 billion letters in our genome. 20 million of these letters differ from one person to the next. With the lower cost of sequencing the genome, we can now study the genomes of many people, which allows us to gain more insights into how genes affect our health. This in turn will help doctors to diagnose diseases and develop new medications. Three-year-old Clara had experienced severe breathing problems for the whole of her short life. Her doctor had performed many tests on her, but could not find the cause of her problems. Finally, he decided to try genetic sequencing, using a blood sample from Clara. The test showed that Clara had many gene variants. However, only one of these was causing her disease, and Clara's doctor did not know which one. He used a process of elimination to pinpoint the exact variant that was causing her condition. Firstly, he reached out to researchers in Europe who had databases containing genetic information from thousands of people. After the researchers granted him access to the databases, he compared Clara's genetic variants against them. Secondly, he eliminated those of Clara's genetic variants that were also present in healthy people in the databases. By this stage, he had narrowed the possibilities down to a few thousand genetic variants. He compared these variants to genes that have been linked to rare diseases, but could not find a match because the databases included data mainly from Europeans rather than Asians. He decided to contact his colleagues who were studying Asian patients with rare diseases. Fortunately, they found a match between a genetic variant in Clara and one in another patient who had similar symptoms to Clara. The gene variant caused a rare genetic muscle condition. Clara's doctor was able to diagnose the rare muscle condition in Clara and started treating her with a medication to strengthen her muscles. Identifying the cause of Clara's condition also meant that pharmaceutical companies could now develop new treatments for people like Clara. A more common use of genetic variants in medicine is in modifying treatments for diseases. Almost all of us carry genetic variants that determine whether a medication will work or cause side effects. In our second case, we talk about Wei Ming, a 45-year-old electrician. In Wei Ming's case, his medication caused an increased risk of infections. Wei Ming's doctor found that he had a genetic variant that made Asians more sensitive to this particular medication. She lowered his medication dose and the side effects subsided. Many more genetic variants have yet to be discovered. By collecting data from as many different people as possible, we can improve health and make lives better.